Research in the East African community reveals that by 2050, the region will lose about 89,000 hectares of forest cover if nothing is done to reverse tree loss. But as the climate change meeting in Dubai draws to a close, leaders deliberating on how to reverse the ongoing catastrophe of climate change, the East African community states are asking for over $500 billion to deal with the crisis for over the next 7 years.
The estimated cost of implementing the NDCs for African countries is 2.8 trillion, and for the period between 2020 and 2030. These are figures, statistics from African Development Bank that were disseminated in 2023, this year. As now for the East Africa, the same source, the East African region's climate financing needs, the second highest in Africa, actually, are estimated at over 500 billion, according to the country's combined national determined contributions in this.
However, each country has committed itself to invest 11% of its annual budget to programs geared towards mitigating the effects of climate change. This commitment could remain on paper, as many of the East African countries cannot even afford this requirement in the health sector. For instance, in Uganda, the health sector received only 6% of the 2023-2024 national budget.
We should not be coming for conferences and make statements looking for money. And when we get back home, we don't prioritize it. So it is our responsibility to make sure we advocate. We advocate for financing within our national budgets. Climate change, climate mitigation and adaptation should be prioritized.
In an effort to meet the global requirements, all countries have developed the National Determination Contribution NDCs. In that regard, the East African member countries are proposing a regional mechanism to deal with the climate change challenges.
And why not a regional? So that regional, which is, harmonization at regional level, can help us actually coordinate the national.
We call them national because each partner state come up with the projects they think are bankable and are able to address climate impact in their countries. However, now as a region, we are moving towards having one body or one mechanism that addresses them, and we want to move from national determined contribution to a regional one.
To mobilize support in a coordinated way, being in communication as countries come to us to update their NDCs, so at the regional level you can reinforce areas where they could work together.
The national determinations contributions are said to help reduce the greenhouse gas emissions in order to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement. The countries are also required to communicate their actions they will take to build resilience and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Jjingo Francis, NTV, in Dubai,